Welcome back to another episode of Mortgages and Mimosas. I'm Haley.
I'm Caitlin.
And today we're here with Christian Gunn with Gunn, Kickback, Dennis.
And we're going to talk about estate planning.
So Christian, you've been in this business for over 18 years. Why do you think it is so important for somebody to plan their estate?
So I think that there's a misconception that you have to be in your later years to start planning your estate. And the truth of the matter is that we have the resources now. We have the instruments now to be able to go ahead and plan for who gets our assets, what assets we want to go to certain beneficiaries, how they're distributed. We make the rules. So I think it's important that you go ahead and get those things formalized. It's at the end of the day, it's peace of mind.
In our industry, we hear a lot of our clients talk about wanting to put their homes into a will or a trust. You're an attorney and an expert, so can you kind of tell us the difference between a will and a trust?
Sure. So really with estate planning, in my business, I believe that there are really four main documents when you're dealing with estate planning. Number one is a will, also known as a last will and testament. Number two is a trust. You can have a revocable trust or an irrevocable trust. Number three is a power of attorney for medical purposes. So if you become incompetent or unable to make medical decisions, you need to designate someone who can do that for you. And number four is what's called a living will in Arkansas, and that is primarily a kind of like a do not resuscitate, but in Arkansas it's called a living will. So the difference between really a will and a trust, to answer your question, is a will is a simple document. There are just a few main things that a will does. It's fairly inexpensive, depending on your lawyer. You can designate where certain assets go and to whom. And a will is where, if you have children, a will is where you actually can designate a guardian or guardians for your children. And then lastly, they also give you a place if you have burial preferences. That's kind of what a will does. The main issue that people have with wills is that wills have to be probated, and that means that they are supervised by a judge. That can be a very lengthy process. It can be a very expensive process, and it can take a very, very long time for your beneficiaries to actually get their property, whether it's real property or personal property. It can take a long time. A trust is the exact opposite. You do not go through probate. It's really an entity that you transfer your assets in, real property, personal property. And then from there, you designate a trustee to then be in charge and have the discretion and be able to follow your rules as to how you want those assets distributed.
So basically, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail for your future. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly right.